don't need a high-end kitchen to make something honest. You just need a heavy pan, a steady fire, and a little respect for the process. My name is Sean, and welcome to Cook What You Got. This is a channel I created a little bit over a year ago on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and now Threads. And after the first year, I vowed to sit down and see if this was something that people liked or enjoyed. And after my videos have reached almost 1 million views in the first year, I decided that the second year, I would really put myself to the test and continue pushing. So welcome to my new series. I hope you enjoy it. Please let me know what you like, what you don't like, and follow along if you want to. Today we're going to be cooking chorizo con huevos, which is chorizo with eggs. Now, before you jump to conclusions, no, I am not Hispanic. I did not grow up in Mexico. I grew up in northeastern Oklahoma. When I was 11, I started to learn how to cook. Not so much because I really wanted to, and I did have a love for food at the time, but after my parents divorced, and my mother was now a single mother to 3 children, while she worked full-time, we slowly started to learn how to help out, and that meant cooking our own meals, doing our own laundry, cleaning up after ourselves. So after learning how to cook out of necessity and really starting to learn to love it, I dove head first and have never looked back. Now with my wife and 2 children, I live in Southern California, which has a robust Hispanic influence of food all over. And one of the first things I learned how to cook when I moved out here was chorizo. Now chorizo is a beautiful Spanish sausage. It's raw pork. It's not cured or smoked like the Spanish version. This is Mexican chorizo. It gets its deep red color from guajillo and ancho chilies. There's a little bit of vinegar that provides a tang and breaks down the heavy fats. Unlike Spanish chorizo, which uses paprika, Mexican chorizo uses fresh ground chilies. Now the fat is the fuel. It's a concentrated hit of spice and acid. In Mexico, every region has its own blend of spices and heat levels. And now as far as what I've seen in the grocery stores and what we come across, there are many different forms of chorizo, and it will be different depending on where you live. In Southern California, where there is no shortness of Hispanics who eat chorizo amongst everybody else, we can find really inexpensive tube chorizo, even at places like Walmart or your regular grocery store, all the way to really fine versions of chorizo with good cuts of meat. Now, when you're cooking like this is a very inexpensive dish. The chorizo I have today is not my normal. I have no problem buying the cheap tube chorizo. It's delicious. It's very fatty. It's very seasoned and flavorful. And I love it. But it's not for everybody. When you cook with the tube chorizo, as I'll call it, it's the inexpensive one. It tends to break down to a very oily with little bits of meat. As you buy more expensive chorizo, you will notice the meat is more prevalent and it's less fat and other little bits. Both kinds are delicious. I've had them both. I love them both. What we're using today is just a small step up from what I usually use, the tube, because I tried a new brand of chorizo that comes in sausage form. So what we did is we just took the casing off the chorizo. Now, if you're going to cook the chorizo as a whole sausage on the grill, maybe on a flat top like a Blackstone, discada, whatever you might be doing, if you want to leave it whole, leave the casing on and cook until the insides are all the way ready. In this format, I'm going to cut the casing as you saw, and then remove the sausage, and it's going to go into a hot non-stick skillet, and we're going to cook it and push it down and let the fat cook down into oil, which will then saute our onions and catch our seasonings and share that throughout. You can see the oil at the bottom of the pan already coming out, and that's the fat rendering out of the chorizo. It's exactly what we want for something like this. Refried beans, pinto beans, any sort of beans would go great with a heavy fat like that, that's seasoned and flavorful. In fact, if I had some, they would have been in this dish. Because the goal for today is to cook our chorizo down, cook it with some onions, which these are diced yellow onions, about half a one. We're going to cook them until they're translucent, and then about at that same time, the chorizo, the fat will begin to render, and that is the shiny bits at the bottom of the pan. And as it starts to leach into the onions, you're going to smell all the seasonings that the chorizo has to offer. This is the beauty of chorizo. It's pre-seasoned, it's full of flavor. It typically has a lot of fat, which will allow you to cook starches such as potatoes or rice very well, very easily, very delicious. Once the fat begins to render out of the chorizo, you're getting closer for the chorizo to be ready. So we want to let all that fat render out, cook our onions until they're about translucent, and then we're going to shift everything over to the side of the pan. And I've got 3 eggs I've cracked into a small container and already scrambled up with the fork for a few moments, and they're going to go in on one side of this pan. In this dish specifically, the eggs act as a sponge for all the rendered spiced pork oil. We're not trying to overwork them. They should be soft, custardy, not rubbery. In this format, you could cook eggs in many different ways. Scrambled is really easy if you're new to cooking or new to cooking eggs. You just scramble them up, breaking the yolk, the yellow part inside, into the white, creating an emulsified egg custard. It's going to go directly into your pan with hot oil. As you've seen, I tilted the pan to relieve some of that oil to one side so that the eggs, that custardy egg liquid, goes in and fries instantaneously on the bottom, and that oil starts to leach in, bringing fat, flavor into our eggs. Now, I use a silicone spatula, great for high heat, necessary on a nonstick skillet. You do not want to use metal or anything harsh. And I'm just going to stir in small circles while the egg curds up. Your heat should be about medium to medium low right now. And at this point, you should start to drop it because you want to get a really good cook right away with that fat so it goes into the crisp outside of the eggs. But we don't want to overcook. I've set aside 2 small pats of butter. One goes in right as the eggs are halfway cooked. It's going to melt behind, and I'm going to season it with some Slap Ya Mama season. You can use whatever you like. You just want to go a little easy on the salt. Now, personally, I don't like to season my eggs before they're cooked. The only thing I'll really mix in to a scrambled egg mixture is typically green onions or garlic. I don't care for the taste of the eggs when seasoning goes in before the eggs are fully cooked. So you'll see many times when I'm cooking dishes like this, I'm going to cook the eggs between 50 to 60%, drop a little unsalted butter in, and then I will season as the butter begins to touch on all the food in the pan. The seasoning goes into the fat, and as the fat touches the outside of the eggs, it seasons the eggs. And if you're new to cooking, as I imagine many are, season a little bit and taste. Tasting as you go is likely the most important rule you'll learn. Because if you wait till the end to find out how the art turned out, you'll find yourself more disappointed, often than not. And if you like any greens, I love scallions, green onions, whatever you call them. You can cut some in straight right here towards the end. It's not something you want to cook heavily, as they will wilt and kind of lose their color and flavor. But it will help season the food as well. That silicone spatula also helps lift that oil off the bottom of the pan, mixing it with the seasonings and the onions to further add flavor to all of your dish. At this point, the heat is mostly off. We are just warming everything up, making sure that the onions have tasted some of the oil and the seasonings, and they all have a little bit of a collective flavor together. So the heat will get dropped to low, and I'm going to drop 2 corn tortillas right into it to warm up. Because if you've ever worked with corn tortillas, you must know you have to heat them up before you roll them or fold them up at all, because they will break. So the tortillas will set in the pan for a few moments as the mixture is fully cooked and ready to plate. Just so that I can roll them up, because I choose to eat these like little breakfast tacos. You could take the mixture and make a mulita, which would be a corn tortilla with some cheese inside, similar to a quesadilla, but with a corn tortilla instead of flour. The beauty of dishes like these is they are inexpensive, they are quick to make, easy to learn how to make, and super delicious. Now, I don't have any fresh salsas on hand because I'm not great at making them, but I will become that way because it is on my list. But I will tell you, with some fresh chile or homemade salsa, this is an amazing breakfast. This is the beauty of chorizo, eggs, a little bit of green onions, and a few seasonings and a little bit of butter. It doesn't take much. And if you've been afraid to get in the kitchen and to give it a try this. You can get a tube of chorizo at probably your local grocery store for under $3. Eggs aren't super expensive as they were a year ago. And neither are corn tortillas. Now we jump to plating. Now we move to plate our food. We're going to scoop the mixture onto a plate. And this can be eaten any way you prefer. You don't need to follow anything I've done, as this is all preference. I like to scoop it onto a plate and put a few of the corn tortillas on the side. If it's a very spicy chorizo where I've added a lot of peppers or jalapenos, I might use some sour cream or fresh crema, but currently I don't have any. You'll see very often on this channel that I refer to that because I'm proud to cook with what I've got. I think it's something that we should do more often and be less afraid to show. I think more people that watch YouTube, videos online, can relate to people like that, more so than people with fully stocked kitchens, aesthetic tools and pans, trendy devices and gadgets. We all eat. I like to do close-ups of the food as well. As you can see, I'm trying to find the focus point. These first few videos will be me figuring this whole thing out, just as I did before. If you go back to my TikTok channel or my early shorts on YouTube, you'll see the same thing. I try to put out a very polished product, but I also want to be personable and real. And I want you to see that I am no chef. I am no professional. I'm a guy that learned how to use a camera many years ago, loves gadgets, loves technology, loves food, loves cooking, loves culture, loves diversity, loves experiencing new things. And I've done so through food more so than anything. I appreciate you guys joining me. Thanks for watching. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe. Consider sharing and commenting.